You see the enemy building a climate up against you that only God can make the hearts of the people open. And when you go there, you see the Jews in disarray and defeated. And you see a stadium full of people. Who would you praise for that? You see? That was Los Angeles. When I was getting ready to go to New York, I really wanted to leave the country. I wanted to go someplace where there's some special mountains and certain kind of greenery and a certain temperature and a certain sky. I wanted to be somewhere at peace where I could contact him and fill up, because I knew I was going back to my home where I was literally driven out from and hated and loved. I couldn't go where I wanted to go, so I had to do what I had to do in a place that to me just wasn't worthy of what I wanted to do. But I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. I knew that the power of prayer opens you up to God and makes him able to contact you in a special way. When I spoke in Los Angeles, I had a power with me. Don't believe that I didn't, because I did. And I knew that the power that was with me was not me. Nothing to do with Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan is nothing. That's him right there. Zero. But it's the one that backs him up, or rather the two that back him up, that make him difficult to deal with. He got help. See? When I saw the mayor in California and knew the tricks that they had plotted and planned, I became incensed, angry. Some of my friends, quote unquote, were talking to me on the telephone where I was, saying to me, yeah, Brother Farrakhan, you know, it would be great if you come here and really deliver this economic message. I said, yeah, that's what I'm coming there to do. But I didn't know that some of my friends were talking to the mayor, and the mayor was telling my friends, see if you can get Farrakhan to ease up on the Jews and stick to his economic program. Some of the black leaders got with members of my staff, trying to tell the members of my staff that maybe they should tell me to temper my message. Thank God they had sense enough to tell him that I don't know what Farrakhan is going to say, but they wasn't crazy enough to come and ask me to temper my message for some Negro mayor that want to be governor, that he can show some Jews that he got some juice. When I slipped in, and I did slip in, and nobody knew when I came and how I came, I was right in the city in a hideaway place, looking at the drama played out on TV. I'm sitting there watching the defendants, and I'm seeing them politicians slipping and sliding and trying to, you know, be on both sides of this thing. If Farrakhan wins, we'll just do this and say, I was with you all the time. And if the Jews win, I'll do this and say, I told you that nigga was doing I mean, these black folk are terrible people, brother. I went in and peeped the whole scene. And while they were in a banquet, I slipped in. Nobody seen me. Slipped in the service entrance of the hotel. Slipped up the back elevator. Got in my room before God could give anyone the news. And then everybody, my family, was alerted that I was there. I knew they'd be keying in on the top laborers, watching to see them move, and when they moved, they would know he's coming. So I didn't let nobody know. My wife didn't know, my son didn't know, my top security did not know. And it was a war for 3 days. But at every turn, Allah, only Allah, Allah the magnificent God, protected his servants, all of us, because we was in a lion's den there, brother, in L.A. And I stayed there 3 days in the city, slipping in and out of different hotels, because once that one was known, I went to another one. But Allah kept me there long enough to hear the mayor give his statement. And we swooped in and beat the mayor up and got out of town. When I realized the power that came through prayer, I knew that this was a key that we had not been employing to its fullest. And it's the only key that will get us on another level, brothers and sisters. Now that we've reached the end of this level, there ain't but one way to go. If you can't come to Allah and call him into your life, call him into the affairs of this nation, and you can forget it. This is over. This is finished. Because you can't keep this going by yourself. Only Allah can help you to keep this going. And if you don't have the strength to call on your God, you really don't believe he exists, then you better get the hell away from me. I don't want to see you in the final call again after the night. If you can't pray, if he's too weak a God for you to believe in and call on, then don't walk with me, because you're a hindrance to me. I only want God-fearing people walking with me. I don't want, wait a minute, I don't want no damn gangbangers that think this is a glorified disciple gang. No, we disciples, but we not no damn gangs. We are men and women of God, and that's what gives us the power to withstand the enemy, not no guns. Because you don't have enough gun to stop that white man when he want to come out after you. But if you got God on your side, then you can make it any time. So if you can't pray, I think this is the end for us. You go your way, and I'll go mine. Don't come here no more. Don't bother with me. Leave me alone. I'm talking to Muslims. I don't want to see you anymore. If you can't recognize God, then you can't recognize me. You're a liar if you say I'm your man and God is greater and you won't call on him. Then you're a hypocrite when you say you love me. You don't love me if you can't love God. And the day of hypocrisy and game playing is all over. I went to New York, and they were planning to kill me in New York. That's the untold story. The Jews were defeated in Washington, they were defeated in Los Angeles, and they wanted to win in New York, and the only way they could win in New York is to bring me out of there dead. And that's why Mayor Koch told all the white people, stay away from downtown. He didn't want no Jews down there picketing. They picketed before that night, but that night, not one of them showed up. Because that was the night we all were supposed to get it that night. The governor had condemned me. The mayor had condemned me. They were creating an atmosphere of hate for me in the city so that if anything happened to me, they would have said he got just what he deserved. Like when Malcolm was assassinated, the next day the New York Times said he got what he deserved. But I stayed on my prayer rug all day long. I prayed 114 rakahs, one for every surah of the Quran, and then my regular prayers. And in the middle of the sixth set of 19 rakahs, I got a call saying that the crowd was out there so thick, couldn't get them in. What to do? Should we search them? I said, we got to search them. Can't let them come in. Brothers went back. The crowd was tremendous. We didn't have enough men to handle it. The brothers did the very best they knew how. I came back at 8-something, and I saw Brother Khaled with the buttons ripped all off his coat. Looked like he had been in a fight, but he's just trying to hold back people. Thick in there with black people. I asked the God, when brother told me it was near time for the thing to begin, there was only 3,000 people in the garden. 30,000 people walking around on the outside, or better. And the police with their bullhorns telling the people, go home, the garden is full. Go home. There ain't no more seats inside. I got back down on my prayer rug. And I asked the God, keep them patient. And keep the spirit in them alive. I had begged him to overflow the place and put his spirit in the people before they got there. And when they came there, you look in their eyes, they knew they wanted something. And they were surging against the door with a spirit that had never been seen before in black people. When they hit the door saying, Farrakhan, Farrakhan, Farrakhan. I mean, look, this is madness, brother. In their eyes, it was death. It reminded me of the days of Prophet Muhammad. And them devils had their mounted police all around there. They looked at all them thousands of black people and said, these niggas crazy about that, man. This is no ordinary sideshow musician thing. This nigga here, these people love him. We better cool whatever we gonna do. A sister called me the other day, Brother Khaled, said that Allah gave her a vision that they had planned to kill me there in the garden as Malcolm was killed. To kill me in the presence of those who were with me. And so when you had this binoculars looking up, you were looking in the right direction. But there was so much love up in there for the brother. And I was guarded by sisters. Everywhere I turned, the sisters would move. They probably couldn't get a clear, clean shot where they were. But they were planning. A fire broke out to start stampeding the people, to create the kind of confusion where shots could be fired, you see? But nothing the beast did worked. The fire got put out.
Yes, sir.
Whoever had death in their heart for me, they saw death everywhere for themselves and began to think about this thing. And then the God is so powerful. You could have your rifle pointed at the man. Got him in your sight, but before you can squeeze the trigger, you got to think it. And the God can confuse that pea brain that you got, where you can't even squeeze it off, because Allah is God. And beside him there is no other God. And therefore none should be set up as a partner or a rival with him. He has no rival. He has no equal. Nobody comes to him except as an honored servant. Nothing else. And she quoted in the scripture. She said she went in the book of Luke and she began reading because she was crying when she woke up. Crying. Said when Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount, they were there to do him in. Said, but the multitude was such, and that Jesus walked right out from among them. You know how they kept after him to do him harm, and he would just get in and walk right on out and slip in. If you had seen me slipping into New York, you'd have laughed. You'd have died. Coming through airports with disguise on, wigs and stuff. Sister, I look pretty good as a sister. But one of these days, y'all try to hit on me, you find out. Oh man, it's Brother Farrakhan. I'm busted. Of course, I'm just teasing. It's good to laugh on such a serious subject. But I came out tonight and asked you to come out tonight because I wanted to plead with you for your lives. And this is an order that I'm giving you. And, you know, beloved, the meaning of FOI is the name given to the military training of the men who belong to Islam in North America. And really, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that when you stand to pray, you stand as a soldier before your commander-in-chief. You see? God himself is the commander-in-chief. And our orders and obedience is to him. That's what makes you a soldier. You see? And the captain gives orders to the lieutenant, and the lieutenant teaches and trains. Teaches the private soldier, also trains them. My first order to you is to pray. That's really my last order. You must pray. And by the grace of Almighty God, as Jesus, the disciples asked him, Master, teach us how to pray. I will do my very best to show each of you the best manner of reaching to God. He has a manner that he wants us to reach him in. It's good to stand up and stretch your hands forward in this manner, facing toward the east. That is good. If you don't know to do that, you know how to call him and talk to him. But whatever you do, be mindful of what you say, but start practicing prayer. And brothers and sisters, if this does not open you up and increase you in power to do, then you don't have to bother anymore. Leave it alone. But I can tell you that prayer with work will change things. Not prayer alone. Prayer with work will change things. So I plead with you, remember the words now. Were it not for your prayers, my Lord would not care for you. And since indeed you have rejected, now the punishment will come. May Allah bless you Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.